I just say that Lumen Virtual Councils provide a lifeline for me to this vital work. What happened at Ghost Ranch was life transforming, and I feel like Virtual Council is the best way for me to stay connected to not only my own work but the work of other men that is so life-giving and productive for my own journey.
For me, having the Virtual Council as an outlet to connect with other men has been huge. It's been a huge transition year for me, and I live out in a rural area, and coming off of the men's rite of passage, being able to continue that work with other brothers has been phenomenal, and I truly look forward to it, and I've been able to deepen relationships with some guys that otherwise I wouldn't have had that opportunity. So I'm so thankful for it, and I strongly encourage it to any other brothers out there who are thinking about it.
So Virtual Council is a way of extending and deepening relationships with men that have fed my soul and have given me a bond of love with brothers that I didn't know before, and now I consider part of my extended family. And it's a very, very rich experience, and that's what keeps me coming back, is that sense of community and relationship and friendship and love.
For me, it's a chance to get together with like-minded men and really to share from my heart. And I have a tendency to close inward and close up. And so this is a way of making sure that I'm opening up and sharing what's going on in my life.
So I appreciate being in council so that I can be reminded, and this is a reminder I definitely need, that there is a place where I can experience the support and the challenge that my brothers deliver to me consistently. Hope.
There aren't many places in life that such an intentional, safe container is built. It's been very important to me because here I feel listened into being. It's become an essential foundation in my life. Hope.
It's a place like nowhere else, where I can share, learn, grow, change. And my family has noticed it. And it's a community of brothers that literally goes around the world, where you learn from everybody who talks. And so it's really important for what I do.
At my MROP in Ghost Ranch, Virtual Council was promoted as a way of continuing the work of the rites of passage. And I tried with marginal success to keep my own council going out of MROP, but I have been completely delighted by the opportunity that Virtual Council has provided to make contact with people I would otherwise never know. And the depth of sharing that happens with complete strangers, the consistency of the opportunity, the consistent opportunity to keep growing and to keep, in this work, I think it's easy to become complacent as the rest of life makes demands on me. And this keeps the value of the work that Illuman has offered to me. It keeps that edge hot, it keeps it relevant, and it keeps it fresh from week to week. And I mean, this has just become such an unexpectedly delightful part of my journey. I would never have guessed at a time how lovely this has been.
Geez, everybody said almost what I wanted to say, but I find that the experience is so validating and empowering for me. Just to read you guys' faces, and when you smile at me, and when you show concern in your faces, and the care that's expressed. and the safety I feel and the respect that's shown really, and the humor that the fun that we have, laughing at our experience, really helps me to not only deepen my relationship with God, but being an only child, I have more brothers now than I ever knew I could have. And after going through the rite of passage in 2007 and then going through the firming in 2011, I'm in Central Florida and was feeling kind of lonely because getting people together in this state is difficult because it's so big. People are scattered all over. And so this has really filled a big hole for me, and really finding it support my everyday life in terms of helping me to relax more and deepen my prayer life. Oh.
Yeah, for me, counsel is a big part of the journey. It keeps calling me back to the soul work that I did on my men's rites of passage, and it allows me to do that in a community of brothers that just brings forth a real sense of support and encouragement in that. So I'm just so grateful and look forward to this as it comes up every 2 weeks.
Yeah, for me, the virtual council is a place that I get to jump into the flow. Living life is hard enough, and coming together with a band of brothers that have shared values and are all interested in being real and authentic with each other is a refreshing experience. And I look forward to doing it. It keeps me coming back time after time.
Yeah, for me, I made my MROP in 2011 when I turned 50. And I just enjoy the coming back. It's so easy. Virtual council makes it so easy to stay connected to the work and to the brothers. I can do it at my home. I don't have to travel anywhere. It's just the barrier is, there is no barrier really to meet. It's just having the desire to want to do it. And, what it keeps unfolding for me every time I do counsel, virtual counsel, is the mystery of being separate in one. I see my singleness, my individual self in the council circle, and then I see, my connected self, connected to all the men and all the brothers in the circle. So that's a mystery that keeps unfolding every council, and every council is new and unique. And if I miss council, I really know it in my life. I can feel it. And, Jesus said, "Seek and you shall find." And every council, I keep seeking, I keep finding. So I can trust it now. I know it to be true. So, brothers.
Virtual council, I did my weekend up near Chicago, but I was in Southwest Indiana, and there was virtually no one there. There was one other man, and so the virtual council has actually literally been a lifesaver for me. It's connected me with Rohr's teachings. It's connected me with the depth and breadth of men sharing on a level that we all know what it's like. And then the other thing that it's done for me is that I relocated to Reno last November, and I haven't found a group here as well. So there is no substitute for an in-person group, face-to-face group where we can hug a man and share in person. But this is a very close second, and I hope we continue this.
For me in South Carolina, we also don't have a local chapter. Every once in a while I can get a handful of guys to come together, and one of those men has done an MROP. But I see this as tilling the field. We've got these wonderful seeds that get planted and that were planted in my heart at the MROP, or when I go to Soul Rise, or one of these in-person gatherings or retreat. But if I don't continue to till the field and pull the weeds and water the plants on a frequent basis, there's parts that aren't growing the way that I would like them to. And so there's a lot of wonderful pruning and growth and fertilizer and more that has dropped on me or covered me, and I just feel warmth and an opportunity to just show up. And so having this opportunity every couple of weeks to show up is critical to my ongoing spiritual journey. And I would not be the person I am wanting to become without it.
I remember filling out the application for my MROP in Chrisland in tears, because as an addict, I knew it was my last chance at life. And what happened at the MROP changed my life, but I was terrified to return home because I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. So for me, the virtual council has been this long road of recovery and healing that must necessarily follow a dynamic experience like an MROP. Without the virtual council, I don't know that I'd be free today.
For me, it's a way to engage in diversity. It's a way to engage in the multiple responses that form community. And, you know, I know that I'm very good at discerning my own life, but my weakness is often that of seeing the perspective of others. So there's that component to it. The other another major component for me is that I absolutely hate cocktail party conversations. I look for depth. I look for vulnerability. I look for honesty, and I get that with Illuman. And in particular, you know, because I facilitate the virtual council, it's a way for me to get that depth and at the same time to contribute.
Well, this was my first time coming to a virtual council, and I had heard about it through staying in contact with some of the other people from my Men's Rites of Passage retreat, and I just wanted to connect back with that energy and be a part of that.
I like to connect with the council group because opposed to a local council group, which I stopped attending, I find this follows the format that we used in MROP more. It's convenient. I just have to home and it. Even though I don't have a busy schedule, a lot of times Saturdays don't work out, but whenever I can, I like to attend. And it is more diversified in the sense that you get to touch with other people from other parts of the country and in other places. So I like that.
I keep coming back because I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy staying connected. And like one of our participants just said, I think I'm looking for more like-minded people, and using this kind of technology certainly brings that about. So I think it's a wonderful thing. It makes it easy, it makes it convenient. I also participate in a group here in the Cleveland area. We go twice a month, and kind of maybe it's like a little 21st century sweat lodge or something. I've never been in a sweat lodge, nor will I ever go to one. I'll probably have a heart attack and die. But I do enjoy the conversation. I think mostly what I like is you get to go to a little bit deeper level. I have, some personal friends I can do this with too, but I enjoy getting different men's perspectives all over the world, not just all over our country. And I'm really very happy that Illuman is growing so much. And I think your 50%, to have a goal of 50% of the guys participate is a wonderful goal to strive to achieve. And I'll keep on participating as long as I can.
Yeah, I participated at the Solar Rise event in 2017, and I learned about this pre-planned virtual council. I was very skeptical first, but I was then very convinced because it really worked. So I didn't believe it first because I have this telephone conferences in the work area, and I hated that. And for me, this is a good opportunity to be connected or to remain connected with a man also in the US and all over the world. And I also participate in this other round about teaching a bit or training, and I learned a lot about I'm also organizing men's groups here, face-to-face men's group, and this is very well complementing my experience, and it helps me a lot. And it is good to have this kind of regularity, to have every second week some opportunity to connect with some men, and that's really great for me. Oh.
I have lots of meaningful conversations, but this is just very, well, as part of my work. But this is a space in which I can share, and in which the sharing is something I can learn a great deal from as well. I can learn a lot from other men who kind of normalize my struggles for me, and to be able just to pop that into my day on a weekend in between tearing around with my kids or cycling with my son or cooking dinner, and it somehow reframes my whole day. It reframes each conversation. It's like, how am I talking to this person? Because tonight I'm going to a men's group, and is it, am I holding this relationship in a way that I'd be proud of? So it's a wonderful space for me. Thanks.
I think after that first retreat that I gave 45 years ago in Cincinnati, probably there's been no, and I tried every kind of retreat I could think of in between, there's been no formal retreat that has borne so much fruit as the Men's Rites of Passage. So when you hear us talking about MROP, that's what we're talking about. That's just our acronym for Men's Rites of Passage. It's not necessary for salvation at all. Life initiates you much more, but what the Men's Rites of Passage tell you is what to pay attention to, what to look out for, what to be ready for. And some are going to be ready for it without going through the 5-day experience. But what we found is a lot of men aren't. And on the other side, we found, I'm sad to say, a certain amount of men who go through it, say hallelujah, and seem to bear no fruit whatsoever. Just go back to their American middle class, comfortable life of success and power and money, and still think that is the meaning of life. They get it and they lose it. I think you evangelicals call that backsliding. We have a lot of backsliding in the men's work too. It's just to keep conscious is work, brothers. And that's why gatherings like this have proven to be necessary and even important. Unless you're surrounded by other men of the same energetic cellular level of consciousness, you tend to slide back to the people you cocktail party with back in Columbus, Ohio, you know? And it's almost impossible to keep unless you have some peers, some who challenge you,